Hi, and welcome to my studio. I'm Dina from Digi Doodle Studios, and I'm really happy you decided to join me today. So come on, let's go have some fun. A few weeks ago, I posted a coffee shaker card for a blog hop that I was sponsoring, and I had several of you ask me how I made it. So today I'm going to show you what I did to create this super fun coffee-inspired shaker card. I'm going to be using one of our new winter digis called Antoni Coffee Gnomie. Before I color my digis, I always like to size them and print them and cut them out using my die cutting machine. I really like the way my image looks when I give it a slight offset. But if you don't have one, don't worry about it. You can just hand cut it or fussy cut it or not, depending on your project. But for this project, I used my die cutting machine because I really like the coffee mug design that I found in the Silhouette Design store, and I knew it would be perfect to weld my little gnome to. I'll have some links below, but my full supply list can be found on my blog, which I'll link to also for you. Okay, so let's start coloring this little guy. As I mentioned before, I like to cut out my images before I color them because I don't want to take the time to color it, only to possibly mess up the cut afterwards. And then, of course, I'd have to color it all over again. Believe me, I've done this before, so this just works out better for me. I also cut out several images at one time not to waste paper, and that gives me extra backups, which is great because it's not unlike me to change colors or design in the middle of my project. I always begin coloring my images with the lightest color first. I know some people prefer to color the shaded areas first. There's really no rules to this process. I just prefer starting with a light base and building up my colors gradually because it's so much easier for me to add color than it is to remove color, and this way I can control the intensity much better. But again, it's your project, your choice, so just have fun with it. I'm going to fast forward through the coloring process in a second, just so you don't fall asleep on me. And as I color, you will notice that I continuously add layers of color and blend them together. I do this to smooth out the color transitions, or sometimes just to create texture. And when I'm finished, I'll clean up any mistakes I may have made and add a few highlights with a white gel pen. Alright, I welded my gnome to the coffee cup design from the Silhouette store, and I cut it out from a piece of white cardstock. I used this as my base to build the shaker well. And so for the panel I printed and cut a plaid design from one of our Digi paper packs. I added a piece of ribbon on the left and bottom of the panel and wrapped it around the back to give it a more finished look. This is where my shaker cup will sit. Next I glued several cup frames together and mounted them to the base. This is what creates the well for my shaker bits. And then I added a piece of double-sided foam tape to the back of the craft paper cut. Not only does this give my card a little dimension, but it allows my gnome to sit level with the coffee cup. Oops, I almost forgot the steam. Luckily my glue wasn't dry yet, so I was able to lift up my cup and attach it without any problems. And now for the shaker bits. So I've added a few enamel dots to stay in place. This will help the loose shaker pieces from sinking to the bottom. A few different colored sequins and some crystals that coordinate with the colors of my card will really make this pop. And because I didn't make the cup too deep, I really don't need to add a ton of pieces to make it look full. To make the window for my shaker, I saved 2 coffee cup frames and sandwiched a piece of clear acetate between them. And then I trimmed the acetate with scissors to fit the frame. I made sure I had a good mix of colored pieces in the cup before I attached the window. I added a cup holder that I cut from a piece of corrugated cardstock and glued my little gnome in place. I'll give it a little shake just to make sure it's secure and I don't lose all my little shaker bits. My sentiment is from our Coffee Anyone Digi Sentiment collection. I printed it out on white cardstock and I die cut it with a metal die, and then I placed it on the upper top left corner of my card. I added a couple of itty-bitty coffee cups and a few more enamel dots just for some extra added embellishments. And I gave it another shake just for fun. Let's not forget the coffee cup cover. And there it is. My card is finished. I hope you have enjoyed the shaker card project. Well, that's my time for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope I have inspired you to create something that brings you and others great joy, because after all, we all need a little joy, don't we? Please check out my blog for more details on this project, and visit digidoodlestudios.com for many more Digi Stamps, papers, and sentiments for all occasions. And if you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our channel. Until next time, have a fabulous day.